Is Buford just a giant shopping mall or the best place to raise a family in Georgia? Today we are looking past the Mall of Georgia to see why this city is the #1 choice for Relocator in 2026. Buford is far more than just a suburb. It is a regional powerhouse with an economic and lifestyle that rivals much larger city. When you're explaining Buford to potential residents, it helps to break down into 4 pillars that define the experience of living here: the economic engine and business life, the lifestyle from lake to luxury, and the school system factor, and of course the real estate and economic trends. Buford business environment is one of the things that makes the city stands out in a very real way. It has a unique mix of major retails, strong industry, and a long-term economy stability. On one hand, Buford is the home of Mall of Georgia, which is the largest shopping mall in the state, and that is a big deal. It creates a major employment hub, attract visitors from all over, and supports a whole network of restaurants, service businesses, and surrounding retail. So when you think about Buford, you're not just thinking about the place to live. You're looking at a city with a serious economic activity built into its identity. But Buford is not just about shopping and retails. It also has a strong industrial and manufacturing side that gives the local economy even more depth. Historically, Buford was known for leather production, and that legacy still matters because it reflects a city that has always had a strong working foundation. Over time, that history has evolved into a modern manufacture and logistic presence. Today, companies like FedEx, Newell Brands, and Makita has a significant footprint here, helping create a stable professional job market and supporting long-term economic strength. Makes Buford especially attractive, both for businesses and homeowners. The city of Buford operates its own utility system, including water, sewer, gas, and electric. That matter more than the people sometimes realize, because when a city has that kind of control, it can often offer some of the lowest utility rates in the region, and that becomes a major advantage. For businesses, it helps keep operating costs lower. For homeowners, it can make everyday living a little bit more manageable. So when you look at Buford as a whole, you're looking at more than a beautiful place with a strong school and a great lifestyle. You're looking at a city with a real economic substance. It has retail power, industrial strength, and practical advantage that make it attractive for both living and working. That combination is a big reason Buford continue to grow, stay competitive, and hold its value over time. What really defines the Buford lifestyles is this: it gives you the best of both worlds. One side, you have the convenience of everything around the Mall of Georgia area, shopping, dining, everyday essential, and easy access to major roads. And on the other side, you have the peaceful, almost vacation-like feel that comes from being so close to Lake Lanier. That lake lifestyle is a big part of Buford identity. Residents are minutes away from Lake Lanier Island and major marinas, and for many people here, weekends on the water are just part of life. That is not something every suburb can say. Buford also has a charming historic side that gives you the city even more character. Downtown Buford, especially along the main street, has gone through a beautiful revitalization. It is filled with local boutiques, great restaurants, and creative spaces that make it feel warm, unique, and full of life. Places like Seven Sister Kitchen, Barebone Steakhouse, and the Tannery Row Artist Colony add that experience and give Buford a real sense of personality. And then there's a cultural side of the city, which is another reason Buford stands out. The Buford Community Center and Theater host professional stage production, outdoor concert, and community events that brings people together and add a more elevated feel to the everyday life here. It gives the city a cultural presence that you do not always find in the suburbs. But if you are talking about Buford, you cannot leave out beautiful city School District. It is one of the biggest reasons this area gets so much attention from buyers. What makes it especially unique is that it is an independent school system separate from Gwinnett County and Hall County School. That independence has helped Buford build a strong identity of its own. And when people think about Buford real estate, the school district is often the first thing that comes to mind. It is widely recognized as one of the top school systems in Georgia, and that reputation has a major impact on demand, home value, and long-term appeal. And beyond academic, there is also a deep sense of community pride tied to the schools. The high school sports program, especially the Wolves, are legendary in Georgia. There is a real Friday Night Lights atmosphere here that brings the community together and create that feelings of sharing, pride, and connection. So when people choose Buford, they are not just choosing a home. They are choosing lake life, convenience, culture, community, and one of the strongest school identity in the state. That is what makes Buford feel like more than a place. It feels like a lifestyle people truly want to be part of. When you look at Buford from a real estate and economic standpoint, one thing stands out right away. This market has remained incredibly resilient, and a big reason for it comes down to two things: the school and the location. Even as other areas might go through more noticeable up and downs, Buford tends to hold steady because demand stays strong and inventory stays tight. As of early of 2026, the median list price in Buford is sitting around mid 500, roughly between $550,000 and $580,000. That tells you something important. This is a market that continues to attract buyers, and because there are not always enough homes available, Buford often stay balanced or even leans towards a seller market. Now, for those thinking ahead about towards retirement, Buford can also be very appealing. In Gwinnett County, where much of Buford is located, residents age of 65 and older might qualify for 100% school tax exemption, and that can make a meaningful difference in lowering the cost of living, especially for senior who wants to be smart about staying comfortable on a fixed income. Another reason Buford appears so many different buyers is the variety of housing options. If you love charm and character, you have the core of Buford, especially near downtown, where you will find more established home, mature neighborhood, and in some cases, no HOA. If you want more amenities and a neighborhood with that planned community feel, they are master plan community like Hedgegrove or Lakeview, where you can find resort style future and a more organized neighborhood setting. And then as you move towards Hall County line, you start finding larger lots and pockets that feel a little bit more rural, a little bit more open, a little bit more private. So what makes Buford stands out is not just the strength of the market, it is the fact that it's offered different way of living, whilst still holding on to the tight buyer care about most strong value, great location, and long-term appeal. Buford isn't just a place to buy a home. It's a place where you're buying into a lifestyle that includes the best school in the state and a lake in your backyard. At the end of the day, Buford is not just a place that you move. It is a place you feel. It offers community, lifestyle, and a sense of belonging that it's hard to explain until you experience for yourself. And if you have been wondering whether Buford could be the right place for your next chapter, I would love to help you explore it. I'm Lucia, and I'll see you in the next one.